Yes, y'all. We are live on location. It's another episode of the Klyph Notes podcast. We are at 503 Records in Beaverton with the homie Aaron B. What's up, bro?
What's up? It's so good to have you here, man. We've been talking about this a while.
We have, man. Man, so much to talk about, so much to get into, but I want to start things off first just by publicly saying thank you for coming out this summer, being a part of the No Request Day party. That was so dope to have you out there, bro.
I know, it was such an honor, man. When you hit me up on IG, I was like, oh wow. It's like, he knows who I am over here. It's like, still a new store. We've only been open for a year, so you hit me up in the summer. I'm like, wow, DJ Klyph is calling on 503 Records, so I better answer.
Stop it right now, bro. Let's just start with that, man. We are recording this on December 1st, and you just literally celebrated the 1 year anniversary of 503 Records.
That's right. We opened up November 25th of last year, so a few days later, but basically it was Small Business Saturday. Mm-hmm. So the day after Black Friday last year. So I missed Black Friday Record Store Day last year because I was brand new, but we just hit it rolling from that Saturday on, and it was so much fun. The first month of business was just incredible. So many people came out to support, and then a year later, so many people came out to support this weekend, and it was just so awesome to see the community that we built out here at this little record shop in Beaverton. So it was great, man.
That's what's up, bro. I'm not really big. It's weird. I'm not really big on like my birthdays. It's, I'm definitely grateful. I'm grateful every day. Grateful to see another year. But to me, there's something to celebrate when you're building something and you have these markers, these year markers, 6-month markers, or whatever the case may be. Because it's obviously not easy. But I want to go back and really talk about the genesis of 503 Records. Like, where did the idea come from to actually, open a record store?
Well, always a lover of music. That's first and foremost. Like most Portland kids growing up, I tried to rap. I even had a band.
Mm-hmm.
So, but a lot of that hip hop culture, it evolved from artists listening to records, sampling and stuff. So, that's nothing new, but that's how I started. Mm-hmm. And always had records in my life. How the record store started, well, I used to attend, or I still attend, DJ Wicked's weekly hip hop event, Wicked Wednesday, which just celebrated 27 years.
Shout out to DJ Wicked, man. Just a Portland staple when it comes to hip hop.
No doubt.
And I've just even learned, not to sideways things, but I've even learned watching over the years how influential he is in many parts of the hip hop culture. Like, so many of us know him as DJ Wicked, but I didn't even realize he was a graph writer.
Yeah,
a serious graph writer.
He does it all. He embodies the whole, each 4 elements of hip hop.
Yeah.
So he's all hip hop. So. Mm-hmm. Respect to him. But anyways, that a lot of things happen at Wicked Wednesday. People meet and get married. He's caused a lot of relationships because he's had that weekly event. Mm-hmm. He's had a lot of people come by and do MC ciphers. Like Mighty. Mm-hmm. Mighty used to go there all the time. Mm-hmm. He just blew me away every time I saw that guy, man. Yeah. Shout out to Mighty. But anyway, so. The idea was born at Wicked Wednesday to open up a record shop. Because I'm looking around, DJ Wicked, here he is, 20-something years, spinning vinyl. Mm-hmm. It sounds amazing. Mm-hmm. He's scratching on them. We got MCs rhyming over the beats, and I'm just like, wow, I love this culture. Yeah. I love this community. Yeah. And I was talking to this one gentleman named Tim. He owns Future Shock Records.
Oh yeah,
on East Burnside. Yeah, mm-hmm. and I go, hey man, what do you do? And he's all, oh, I own Future Shock Records. I go, right over there on Burnside. He's all, yeah, that's me. And I go, so you get to come to Wicked Wednesday every Wednesday night. Wake up tomorrow, all relaxed, all happy, mm-hmm. and open up a record store and listen to more music. Mm-hmm. Sign me up. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
I was like, why wouldn't you want to own a record store? Mm-hmm. It is so much fun. But so that's where the idea was born. I kind of I toyed with different names and stuff for a record store, but I ultimately, just being a 503 kid, born and raised, I was like, well, 503 Records. It just has a nice ring to it. Yeah. easy to make the O vinyl record, you know, and anything. So that was a no-brainer. But I kind of put the brakes on a little bit when the pandemic hit because there was just so much uncertainty. So I would have opened it up sooner, but you know, the world just changed overnight with that pandemic. So speaking of the pandemic taught me life is short. You know, I lost my dad during the pandemic.
Oh my gosh.
He got COVID. Passed away within 3 weeks.
Oh wow, my condolences,
and thank you. But so it was kind of a tribute to my father to open up a record store, to do something happy. He always wanted me to take the safe route, but he always enjoyed all the creative things I did. Yeah. All the, you know, everything I pushed for. He was always encouraging me, but he just wanted me to be safe like a good dad and find a secure job.
Oh yeah.
Which I had. You know, I drove a city bus for 18 years. I was very secure, a little nutty. So anyways, not knocking bus drivers. That's some good health insurance right there.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
But it's a tough job, man. So I'm at the point in my life where life is short. If I didn't open up a store and follow my dream, I would never do it. And I always didn't want to have that regret because we are on this rock one time around. Yeah. So the wife was behind me. She's a business owner as well. She owns a private preschool with her cousin, and they survived the pandemic. So to watch her go through all those challenges, like, well, I mean, she can get through the pandemic owning a school. Yeah, I can order records and alphabetize them.
Right.
And sell them. So she made everything look easy as far as being a business owner. She helps me with that side of things, and then I get to be me, and that's the most important part of this dream. Was like I needed to find something where I could have joy, you know, where I could not only have it in my heart, but I could help provide it to the community. Yeah. And I did a really good job as a bus driver. I was bus operator of the year, not to pat myself on the back.
You got to celebrate that, yo.
But, you know, I mean, I know one year I was, 2020 was the year. I was going through some things too. It's hard. Yeah. You know, my dad got to see that last accomplishment before he passed. He got to find out that I was bus operator of the year. Yeah. He had his my trophy that Triма gave me. He had it in his room. So that was cool. So anyways, point is that it was just a joy move. And so far this year, that's what this place has been. Nothing but joy. Because when people come in and look for music, shop for music, they're happy. They're, you know, everybody's smiling. It's not an angry thing in here, you know. People are like, my favorite thing is when somebody goes, because they just found a record they can't believe that I have, or something, or something that brought back so many memories just like that. Yeah. So it's, for me, it's like Christmas. It's like when a kid opens, you know, that favorite toy on Christmas morning. I get to hear that multiple times a day. And oh man, then that heart and that joy just keeps on getting bigger. That's what's up, yeah, that's why. So it was a no-brainer, man. It was wasn't like my lifelong dream to do a record store. It just kind of came together out of all the things I've done in my life. It's like, well, this is where my calling is now. You know. I would love to be a DJ like you someday. Oh, listen. I'm trying to work on my voice, man, but I get tongue-tied too often.
You know, it's funny though. So I moved to Portland in '94, and when I moved to Portland, at the time I was actively working to try to have a career in the music industry. Nice. So you know, I came to Portland with my demo. I had my reels with the demo that we recorded, and started looking around for studios, and then wanted to learn the Portland music scene, and found artists who were making music in the city. And you know, that's one of the things that I think is so cool about Portland, is that it does have such an amazing, thriving music scene, always has. Yeah. And I look on the walls and I see, you know, artists who I recognize who are local, that have obviously been impactful on you, as I see autographs on the vinyl and that sort of thing. Yeah. But because you shared it, I definitely have to ask. You know, back in the day when you were making music, you said you had a crew. What was the name of your crew?
Oh man, there's Google. You know about
Google? Listen, bro, you brought it up, bro. You brought it up.
I know, but we moved past that. we were called Above the Influence, and you know, play on words, you know. And we never trademarked our name, and a local advertising agency eventually stole our name for their, you know, for their anti-drug campaign. It was Above the Influence, you know, live life. And I can't be mad at that, you know. That's great. I should have trademarked our name because it was a good name.
Yes, yeah.
Above
obviously,
the Influence, man.
obviously, yeah.
But they took my MySpace page, man.
See, that's the issue right there, man. Can't mess with the dude with MySpace.
Yeah, that's how old I am, man. Yeah, I had my MySpace page. So for you kids, that was kind of like Instagram. And pre-Facebook and all of that. What was the dynamic of the crew? What was the setup of the crew? Well, it was me and my homie D. We grew up together. We just, you know, one of those fun nights. You know, when you're just trying to find something to do. You know, we could write a rap. We listen to rap all the time. So, you know, actually, I was actually rapping even before I had a band. I would do things like rap reports and stuff in school. Like have my buddy hit a beat on the desk, and I'd rap a whole rap about Lewis and Clark or something, discovering Oregon. Just because it's funner to write a paper that way if you're rhyming and stuff. But that's kind of what you know. Speaking of Portland and the music culture, it's always been there for me ever since grade school. You know, I remember holding hands singing "We Are the World" on the playground in elementary school, and just Portland's a very special place to grow up. But our band. What I wanted to do was have a live feel, a lot like Five Fingers of Funk, Hungry Mob, Mr. Mike Crenshaw, so that's what we did. We found some pieces. We had a live band and a DJ, and we just went around town, played mainly for our friends, you know. But that's all I wanted to do. I mean, I secretly wanted to be a big star.
Of course, of course,
Well, you know, I was in a very small section of Northeast Portland. 1 or 2 nights a month. So, you know, next day I walked around a little taller, a little more pride. But we rocked some shows and it was fun. I mean, making music, of course, is so much fun. Tried to make a music career out of it. Moved down to the Bay when I was young and single.
Word.
But, and I did do a little bit down there, but it was hard for me to meet people because I had such a support system up here. So the only claim to fame down there is I freestyle rap with a live jazz band on Fillmore Street, and it tore down the house because they weren't expecting that. You know, when you look at me, you don't think rapper. You think there's a bouncer or a security guard or former football player with a bad knee, but you don't really think rapper right out the gate. But you know, that's what Northeast Portland does to a kid. So, anyways, we had that live band and we had fun. So music's always been a part of my life. You know, I always have music on. I'm always the one who's playing the music at family functions. I've never been a DJ, but I like to control the music. Maybe I'm just controlling.
Well, hey, listen,
and
bro.
I just controlled my way to this dream.
Listen, bro, you know what I mean? From your mouth to my ears, yo. No, I think that's cool to hear the story, because that story is, when I've had an opportunity to interview folk, that story is fairly common, and which I love, the fact that so much of when people get involved in music, it really, in terms of being in music professionally in any form, it all comes from just the love of the music, and that draws you in. And you know, the visual of banging on the lunchroom table and just rhyming, I mean, that's where it started. I think that with the amazing advances in technology, I think oftentimes there are individuals, there's a whole generation that doesn't get to have that experience, because I can easily pull out my phone and you know, have a drum machine on my phone, or easily pull out my phone and have an instrumental, and right now add effects to my vocals, and you know, you don't necessarily just get that raw feel. And that's a little bit of the get off my lawn that you know, for me. But I love to hear those stories, because it resonates with me of what you just described.
Well, I mean, that's it. That's how we used to do it. I remember the best beats were always done like on the sink in the gymnasium.
Lovely acoustics. Yeah.
Man, people would dance to that,
Yeah.
during gym class when we're supposed to be doing something else, tetherball or something. I don't know what we did, but for some reason, did you ever lift a big parachute in gym class?
Oh, yeah.
In a big circle? What was that about?
I don't know, bro.
Were we ever gonna have to do that?
Listen,
in life?
they had to find something to keep us busy, bro.
I guess, but a parachute? Where'd they get the parachute? Klyph?
Listen. Depending on where you went to school, sometimes you'd have people who would donate stuff, and so they'd get donated a parachute and be like, all right, let's figure out a way to use it.
I hope that guy survived. Whoever donated that, who wasn't his family donated the parachute. Sorry, I got off track, man.
No, bro.
Goofy.
It's just we reminiscing, bro. We reminiscing about the old days.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of old days, I gotta tell you, man, that what you were saying made me think of something about how music's already on the phone now.
Yeah.
And you can just pull up a beat, right?
Yeah.
So, man, I had a wide awake opening when somebody was rapping at a party. And usually when somebody was rapping at a party and somebody does a beatbox, and so I'm like, oh, that's me. This is my call. I'm gonna start. This guy's rapping. I'm gonna hit a beat, and I'm just slobbering and trying to do the best beat I can with my lips. I'm a former trumpet player, so I do all right.
Yeah.
I can make some sounds with my lips and stuff. But the guy just shook his head and said, "Man, we don't do that anymore." And he's I got this beat that I made, and it's on my phone, and boy. Man, that just blew me away. So that was the last time I ever tried to beatbox.
It's a different time, bro. Yeah. It's definitely a different time. The nostalgia of it though is definitely a beautiful thing. Yeah. And to see where we come from and look at how far we've come, but never forget where we come from. You know what I mean? I think that's important.
It's the best thing about hip hop culture too is, just seeing it. It was one music that we got to see kind of from the beginning to where it is now. Yeah. We weren't around for the beginning of blues or jazz. We were around for the beginning of hip hop and just to see all the changes. Started off cool like Atari. Atari used to be just a little box eating other little boxes and stuff. And now look at where video games are now. It's the same thing with hip hop. It started very basic but it was so cool when it started, and it wasn't just a fad, and that's the best thing about it. Yeah. It was a culture, and that's why I celebrate it in the shop, and I celebrate these guys on the wall, like Lifesavers, and 5 Fingers of Funk, Boom Bap Project, Randall Wyatt. Anyways, there's so many people that I look up to on that wall, and they're people that I would go pay money to see, and I get excited to see, like, when Rev Shines walks into, the day party, I'm like, what? Or Versatile walks into the day party, I fanboy out, man.
Bro, listen, man. Absolutely, I'm so right there with you, because these are people that I remember seeing on stages. I tell the story all the time. I started off as fans of these people, and to be able to pull out my phone and text them or call them, it's weird, and it's such a huge blessing, to be able to have that experience.
For sure, man. I love the way you guys support each other. Like, I feel love at DJ Wicked events. It's a great culture there too. I'm very new to the no requests events, but you guys, how you embrace people, oh man, that I rant and rave about you guys all the time.
Oh, that's love, bro.
Yeah, every time I walk in there, you can get a nice big homie hug from you guys, and of course my friend James is always in there.
Shout out to James.
Yeah, he's a good guy too, man. So it's just, you guys all just have a nice welcoming vibe, and it's all about the music and the love, and that's what life really is about. And that's why I had to do this store, man, because of that music, that love, that community. There's just so much hate and so much violence and so much pain in this world. You gotta at some point shine that light bright for others to see it, so we can all join in. So you're one of those people shining that light. That sounds very cheesy, but it's true, man.
No, I appreciate that, bro, because it's something that I believe in at my core, and so to see that it is received is confirming that I'm doing the right thing, that I'm on the right path. You talk about that, and it's one of the things that I got to see a bit of, though this is my first time physically in the space, it's one of the times that I got to see shared on social media the camaraderie and the community that exists here in this space within this first year. That it is, yes, it is a record store. Yes, people can come through and scroll through, and I see vinyl, and I see CDs, and I see cassettes, but it also comes across as a place that people can come and gather and build community, and just be a part of something. Was that something that you thought about when you open these doors?
Yeah, 100%, man. That's what I wanted 503 to be about, was like a hub for the community. Whether you're an artist, whether like a rapper, a DJ, a singer-songwriter. I do consignments for local artists, because I used to be a local artist that wanted to get my stuff out. It's a lot easier to put your music out nowadays. It's not saying it's easy, but now there's so many different avenues to get your stuff out there. But it used to be the local record store was the place to get your record out, get your CD out, get your tape out. I mean, the first time I heard DJ Wicked, I got it free at the counter of 2nd Avenue Records. As a mixtape, just blew my mind, and the guy was local. I was like, wow, this guy, it's Portland, that's great. Sorry to hear about 2nd Avenue. They have to move out, but they're another staple in the community, another hub,
So, definitely a place that there's a section of music in my collection that I absolutely got from 2nd Ave, and I'm still holding out hope that something great is going to come with that news, that if in fact they are, if their hand is forced and they have to leave that space, that an even bigger and better space comes their way, because they are such a staple to Portland.
I know, and I hope they find a place too, and I hope and pray it's not in Beaverton. Don't
right, right, exactly.
I can't compete with 2nd Avenue. If 2nd Avenue opens up here, 503's going.
No, bro, we ain't gonna let that happen. We ain't gonna let that happen.
They deserve to be downtown. They deserve to be in the center of it all, because that's why they reach so many people. Because everybody can dip to downtown Portland. And go crate digging there.
No doubt. You have this space now. You get to look back on a year of being here. Is there anything that are you surprised by anything? Is there anything that's happened that you didn't necessarily expect?
Yeah, that's a good question. So many things I didn't expect. What I did expect was, a lot of shoppers that are hard to please, because if you're a vinyl head and you're a collector of anything, you got some pretty specific requests. So I get people ask for some really deep cuts. I'm a small store, man. I have great variety, but when people come in with some band that hasn't ever released a record in their life, and they expect me to have it all of a sudden, I can only do so much. But I do talk to people to find out what they like, and I can order things. But things that were unexpected were all these little moments that happen here. One of the sweetest moments, and I say sweet because when you hear the story, you're all gonna say, "Ah." This young couple came in and asked if they could take some pictures and do a little video. And I said, "Oh, for sure. What is that for?" And they said, "Well, we are kind of doing a reveal party, gender reveal party for our family, or not a party, but a announcement." So they did a video and photo shoot, and they made a cover of a record that had an ultrasound picture on it, and it said, "It's a boy."
Oh, word.
And they put it within the records in the bins. And so at the end of the video that they put together, they pull out the wife pulls out the record, shows it, and says, "It's a boy," and she's holding little shoes.
That's dope.
And I was like, oh,
That's dope.
Of course I want to be a part of this, because that's just amazing. First of all, some part of somebody's life like that, like I don't even know if the kid's born by now. I'm sure they are, but hopefully I get to meet him, because I feel like some weird way I'm a part of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then there's people who come in on date nights. There's people who come in on anniversaries or birthdays. That's what was a big shock for me. Like, people just digging around and say, "Oh, we just got a record player for a birthday gift, and now I'm going to start my record collection. And I'm just like, oh, and guess what I want to give you? Some Tribe Called Quest.
Right.
You got to have that. So I get to, help people start collections, and those moments I just love. Absolutely love those moments where people share big news with me, like the baby thing, or people getting engaged. It's just life. Life comes into here because music is life, right? So all these great memories happen. Losing my train of thought, but other things that have happened have been very spontaneous. Like this last Friday, the Black Friday sale that we had. We had some DJs all day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
That's crazy.
And which was crazy by itself, right?
Yeah.
But they were just providing such great music and joy for the people who were in here shopping. And then an old friend of mine popped in the door, his rap name is Relentless, Richard Wade. He came through with a buddy of his, and within 30 seconds, maybe a minute, we were, after just greeting each other, and I was handing him a mic, and then a freestyle session broke off
So
here. So they were just pointing things out in the store and kind of rapping about them. And the great part was they were doing it right under Star Child. Like, I got a picture of Star Child right there. So it was great to see just the spontaneity and just true hip hop culture where all you need is two turntables and a microphone.
Facts.
And it was just amazing to see. And then of course everybody in the store had to bust out their phones, so it became a little moment that everybody was impressed by. But for me, that was like, oh man, it just felt like after a year and reflecting back all the special moments that have happened, that was one of them. It was like one of the most amazing things where everything that came together. So many people were in here, so many smiles, and then something spontaneous happens that involves music, and on the spot music. That was just amazing, man. I'll remember that forever.
That's so dope, bro.
Yeah.
So dope. It's funny as we sit here and some of the names that you mentioned, I think about some of the stories that I've heard that have been shared with me. You mentioned Rev Shines. I had an opportunity to do an interview with Rev Shines for Cliff Notes, and he tells some amazing stories. If you haven't listened to that episode yet, it's only audio, but highly recommend you listen to that episode. But he tells a story of when he worked in a record store in Portland. So I'm really saying it's just so crazy to say it. And worked at a record store in Portland, and he would whenever he would like be on the phone with Dilla. And he developed such a relationship with Dilla that Dilla trusted his taste, and Dilla would just send me some stuff. I think at first he would play stuff over the phone, and then he would just send records to this human being who is so influential, so important to this genre that we love called hip hop. You have now a space where cats can come in and they can dig. You have a space now where you could be a part of the creation of amazing art has that thought even resonated with you? Yeah,
that's part of the dream. It's not like I need that to complete my life. It just, I'm that type of person, I've had so much help in my life and so much inspiration from people, so many mentors, and to kind of be in a position where I could potentially be a mentor or at least some kind of guide or positive influence on young people, especially. There's a lot of teens that come through because there are high schools nearby, and just to be a safe place for them to come and ask questions. We got this whole world now that's afraid to just talk and ask questions because you should just figure it out on your phone, ask Siri or whatever. But so I noticed that younger people are just really shy to talk to adults, but when they come in here, they kind of drop their guard down a little bit, and it's been fun to watch just personalities come out of them and interest that, being in a record store piques their interest. What is this? Who is this? To see, an 18-year-old kid, 17-year-old kid pick up an album over in the hip hop section that I know and they don't, and see and then ask me about it. It's amazing. Like, it makes me feel cool.
Yeah.
Not that's not hard to do, but but you know, I love talking about early 90s hip hop, you know, through early 2000s. That's kind of that's the decade I like right there. Anything socially conscious I like, anything with a lot of jazz influence and soul and funk. You know, Five Fingers of Funk was a great show. I'm West Coast kid, so I love that West Coast music. I love Cool Nuts, of course. He's one of the pioneers here, man. Libretto, Lifesavers. Oh my gosh, I could go on and on about influences, but just to be a place where history is remembered, you know, through music, that's important to me. I feel like I help keep the culture alive with a new generation of people. And then give them a space where they can actually share their art, and they're excited. You know, when I tell a young person, if you have something on wax or CD, and I'll consign it for you, you see their eyes light up. Or I said, you could even perform here someday, and just to see them get excited, like, that makes me happy, and that's part of the joy here.
That's what's up, right? That's so dope. We just had Record Store Day, and as you're in this position now to provide that connection to artists and fans, as you're looking at what's going to be released for Record Store Day, as you're in that position now, was there anything that made you go, "Ooh, that's dope"? I'm looking forward to having that in the store.
Yeah, man. You know, Souls of Mischief had a release this time around, and there's one copy left, so I'm gonna break that seal, and it's gonna be a house copy, unless I did tell DJ Wicked he could come out and grab that if he wanted to. But no, hip hop is always kind of underserved when it comes to the mainstream stuff, still to this day. But they're getting better each time with Record Store Day. There's Raekwon came out with a new one. There was a Snoop Dogg live album, Cypress Hill, Dead Prez. So there was a lot of hip hop titles, and here at 503 we always go big on the hip hop titles. I don't care if I end up with a bunch of copies, because it's gonna get listened to. Right. So. Right. But you know, it's a daunting task to try to get as much variety as you can and please as many people as you can, because everybody has their own individual taste. So, for me as a record store owner, I've learned to ask questions myself. You know, I get to know customers and their taste, because that's how I'm going to survive. This isn't, you know, just come on in and this is all the music that I like store, because that's not going to get very far. Right. I mean, not everybody, you know, is a 90s hip hop head, but they should be. Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you on that. Yes. But anyways, it's just a daunting task to try to keep up with everything. So for me, it's all about connection. If I know who's coming through the door, what they're looking for, I'm going to make sure I have it. So I was thinking one thing when you were telling me about Ryan, Ref Shines, talking to Dilla. I had one celebrity story that I've told too many times, but I want to tell it one more time. Yeah, because I haven't heard it. This one time, DJ Klyph came into the store. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! No, that's my next celebrity story. Is DJ Klyph came to the store. But the first celebrity to come in the store was really cool. Is Sean Daly's Slug from Atmosphere. I'm a big Atmosphere fan because they're good storytellers. You know, great beats. He was in here on like December 29th. It was a Friday night. It was 43 degrees. No, I remember like it was yesterday. What? No, I just opened the store, been open for maybe not even 30 days yet. And one of my other dreams, besides having, you know, music and people arriving and stuff, was to have one of my idols or legends come through. And in comes through my door, you know, just about 30 minutes before closing was the Slug from Atmosphere, man. And my jaw just hit the ground, hit the floor. I couldn't talk. I go, you're a, and then I go to the A's in hip hop. You're from Minnesota, and he goes, yeah, I'm Sean. Nice to meet you. He goes, only old guys know who I am now. I was like, come on, man. But it took me a minute to like calm down. My wife was like, my wife doesn't know she'd know who he was, but she'd know that I was getting tongue tied. I couldn't talk, so she said, "Are you okay, honey?" And I'm like, "Yeah, this is Slug from Atmosphere." And then he just shopped around and just was just like most celebrity stories you hear, it's down to earth, but
Yeah.
he truly was.
Yeah.
He was just picking up some new tunes. He loves digging, and he was in a brand new store, outside of Portland called 503, and he let me take pictures with him. Once I finally calmed down, I was all about getting pictures with him. But he bought his own record, which was neat.
Yeah.
He left it at the Airbnb that he was staying at.
Okay.
He said they had a record player there, but they had crappy records. So he bought his own record here at 503. And now you better believe I always have Atmosphere stocked.
No doubt.
No
doubt.
Just in case he ever comes back. I'm always going to have him stocked. So, and then he bought a couple local artists that I had, and I tried to impress him. I didn't realize how much of a digger he was, and how I think he even owns a record store, or had owned a record store at one point.
Okay.
But he's just an encyclopedia, man. I had to dig deep to impress him. And every record I pulled out, he goes, "Oh yeah, that's a good one. I got it."
Yeah.
But he did leave with about 5 records and a 503 hoodie.
Okay.
And he does wear black hoodies. Usually it says "Stakes is High," but tribute to the De La Soul crew. But maybe someday when he performs in Portland next, he'll be wearing a 503 Records hoodie, and then watch me film play out, bro.
Yo, that's so dope, bro. I didn't even think about that. Like you're a place where a lot of these artists whose music is here, whose art is in the space, can walk in the door, and that's nuts.
There could have been somebody else famous that has come by, but I didn't know. You never know. Like I told you I botched meeting Portugal the Man at the record show a couple weeks ago. Yeah, because they just look like Portland, right? Regular dudes,
Right.
But yeah, Atmosphere, man, that was big. But I've told the story about 100 times to like anybody who was willing to listen in the shop, and that's the old guy part of me. We repeat ourselves a lot.
Listen, bro, but that's definitely something. That's definitely something to celebrate.
It is. It's something. It was a great memory for me. It's pinned in my IG account. But I went to go tell my boy Wicked about it. I was so proud. Like, hey, guess who came into my shop? And he's not a bragger in any way, but he's also had a dope life. He's been on tour with the best of them, and he's been on tour with Atmosphere. Spent 3 months in a tour bus with Atmosphere. So, oh yeah, Sean's cool. Yeah. I was on a tour bus with him for 3 months. Yeah. I'm like, oh man, shut up. You and your cool life. I mean, I thought I was really riding high, but then there's people like Rev Shines who talks to Dilla and Questlove. I mean, Dilla, rest in peace, but you know what I mean. He's got Questlove on speed dial. Takes some digging at places the public can't go.
It's crazy, man. Just to think about that 6 degrees of separation too, and to be able to hear those stories of individuals who, and it, for me, at this stage, it really humanizes the superstar, and you realize that. Homeboy Sandman says it in a line in one of his songs that, the only thing that separates you, I'm paraphrasing, you from the star is just, 5 feet of stage. Yeah. And it's cool, like you said, when you hear these stories all the time, often, that people come through and we look at them as these grand idols, and we celebrate them as they've worked to deserve. Yeah. But at the end of the day, man, they're just human beings. They're just, they're just down to earth people.
Yeah. He brought his kid with him. Atmosphere Slug brought his kid with him. Kid just sat down like he knew what Dad was doing, going through the records.
Not his first time being in the record store. Pops
had a little show going on his iPad. But yeah, it was just a big moment for me. And then every moment that's joyful is a good moment here, and that's again part of the reason why we opened up the store and trying to build a community. So we got DJs coming through now. I got this section over here called Cheap Heat, full of some good sampleable stuff. So I got a bunch of beat makers who come through here, grab 10 records because they're only like $3, and then they'll, sometimes people will even show me the beat or play me the beat that they make with some of my samples. I would like to do that live sometime, like have some kind of, okay, grab 5 records from the cheap heat. Let's see you make a beat. That would be something I'd like to have here.
Yeah, let's make it happen.
That
I mean,
would be
you know,
cool.
there's definitely a great group of producers here. You know, I think about Jonas and everything that he does with the Beat Happening, with the all ages producer showcases, and we have a bunch of filmmakers here. And man, it would be dope to put something like that together. It exists, but to have it be Portland based,
Yeah.
I think would be dope.
Yeah, definitely, man. OG1. Remember, did I tell you that story about OG1? How I found out he lived out here? He was I think he has a personalized license plate, right? And this is DJ OG1, right? And I saw that car one day at a stoplight out here in Beaverton, and I was like, you know, the way I read it was "Oh Gone." No, that's right. He is OG1, was it? But I read it as "Oh Gone," like
Oregon.
No, not even Oregon. It was right after Damian Lillard got traded.
Oh, got you.
And I, for some reason, my messed up head was like, "Oh, gone." Like, that's right. Oh's gone. He's in Milwaukee. And it got me really sad. And then when it dawned on me that it wouldn't make sense because he just got traded, nobody would have gotten a personalized license plate the next day.
That quick, yeah.
That said, "Oh, gone," or even at all.
Right.
But then that makes sense that it's OG1, and that was his ride. That's just shaking my head every time I think about
Small world,
that.
bro. Definitely a small world.
I got to get, speaking of him, you know him, so get him into the shop. He likes my records. He bought some at your day party, man. I just want him to come in the shop.
Yeah, I'll definitely make a call. See what
He's in my backyard.
Yeah, man. So one of the things that I've been thinking about, it's interesting, I just recorded an episode of another podcast that I do, Everything is Copacetic, and I talked about the fact that I'm not really a New Year's resolution kind of guy, but I am someone who's sensitive to when the seasons change. And as the seasons change here, and we just get to see the physical changes around us, the changing in the leaves, the changing in what happens as kids are out of school for a little bit of time, families get an opportunity to spend time together. It does give me time to reflect on 2024 and then consider, okay, what's 2025 going to look like? Not necessarily from a resolution type thing, but you know, always thinking about, you know, how can I do better for me? But I wonder, for people in my circle of influence, as you think about celebrating your 1-year anniversary, as you think about the things that you've had an opportunity to experience and I'm sure learn in your first year, what are your thoughts and plans for the next 6 months, next 12 months for 503 Records?
Well, for 503 Records, we're going to continue to grow our inventory each month. It's been a very gradual and organic growth, but we're doing it by reaching out to people, by word of mouth, by getting to know customers, treating people with respect. I mean, I'm not a sales guy at all. So when somebody comes in here, I just have genuine conversations with people, and people seem to respond to that better. I mean, I am a little bit too in your face, and I do tell the slug from Atmosphere story too many times. But people, if you look at my Google reviews, it seems like people are responding to the energy in here, and that's all I can hope for. I'm not going to have every record. It's not going to be always the most amazing store you've been to, but it is going to be a place where you're respected, your opinion is respected, your tastes are respected, your personal choice on who you are, your pronouns are respected. I mean, we're in this different times, different world, and I think what we need more than ever is just to respect each other as individuals, and then that's how we can all come together and be community. And that's what I want to continue, that part of 503 Records, but increase more of the events, increase more of the arts. I'm definitely going to have singer-songwriters, definitely going to do an MC cypher, Russian roulette with the cheap heat making beats, and the sky's the limit. But it's gonna be more. Yeah. Now that we kind of got our feet wet, it's time to turn it up a notch. But speaking of community and what we're doing is things like I partnered with DJ Wicked last year on this. This coming Sunday, a week from today, we December 8th, we are having DJ Wicked's Coat Drive, and that's just a place where people can come through, donate warm coats for people in need. While DJ Wicked's here, he's going to be, on the wheels of steel, scratching and playing, doing what he do, just playing beats and great music, and just I'm always impressed when he's playing. And he always brings people here. I mean, people always want to see what he's doing.
Right.
So it's usually a nice full shop, and then people respond to just that community effort of helping others. So especially this time of year, you mentioned seasons changing, it's getting cold. We talked about how cold it is right here in the shop right now, and I said the coat drive really is for my customers so they can borrow a coat when they're in here. But PG is a ridiculous, bro. I'm sorry. That bill is.
I hear you, bro.
the bill, man, is so high. So it's cold in here. Bring your coat, and then bring your coat to donate as well, because it will go to the Portland Rescue Mission. It's a great community give back that DJ Wicked does every year. I'm fortunate enough to be the place that he's hosting it this year. So very excited about that. It's going to be from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. on December 8th, Sunday.
That's what's up.
And you don't need a coat to roll through to donate. If you don't have one, it's not a big deal. Gloves, hats, anything like that would be useful. Or just bring yourself and see what we're doing here. Everyone's invited.
Love it, man. I love it. You've just created a great prompt and encouragement and push for me to get this edited and out before Sunday, so thank you.
Cool. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was wondering if you were going to edit, because I was like, man.
I am now.
You are now, especially like I fumble my words all the time.
No, not at all. But and people who listen to really everything that I do, they know that for me, I've never wanted to, when I started doing the podcast, I've never wanted to over edit them, because I've always said Cliff Notes is nothing but me having a conversation with people who I'm really interested in, and there just happen to be microphones in there in the room.
True.
You know what I mean? And I think to me the value to that is, I think the beauty of everybody having a platform also creates a sense of unrealistic expectations, where the lighting is perfect and the makeup is perfect, and when you get to be in the real world, it can create a sense of disappointment and again, to me, unrealistic expectations. So I don't really edit out a lot of the ums and ahs. Okay. Because
it's life. It's real.
It's real, bro. I mean, it's 100% real. You know what I mean?
It's true, and that's what you're gonna get here, man. I like I said, there's sometimes as a customer walking into some stores, you always get this vibe that the people that work there are so cool, and you don't want to bother them, and they don't even talk to you until they literally have to check you out. Here, you're gonna get a hello right away and a smile, and because you're welcome here, and there's we don't put up a front or anything. This is all music is universal love, and that's why we are here, and we want everyone to have a chance to come in and tell us what they like. So yeah, that's what you're gonna get, a genuine experience.
I love it, bro.
That's what we're doing here, you and I. I mean, you didn't give me any questions beforehand to prepare for, and I didn't have any speeches. I wish I did.
No,
I've been acting a fool, but I appreciate you.
No, man, I love it. And I do want to say this, man. You talked about it at the beginning of the conversation when I reached out to ask if you'd be down to come through for the day party. That really came from what I had an opportunity to see you presenting in what you were building. It does come across as something that I thought was dope.
Cool, thank you.
And so everything that you've spoken of comes through, and so I want you to know that it's seen and it's appreciated for someone who's a fan of good people.
Thank you, man.
Also want to let folk know that 503 Records move, as we think about what's happening and some of the things that are happening in 2025, will on occasion be out at no request with us on a monthly basis. For sure. With a Crater Records, we've Ambush and I have started doing theme nights, and so I think it's going to be dope to see what what records Aaron B brings out.
Mm-hmm.
And these are going to be records that he's bringing out so that you can have as a part of your collection. So you can come through and scroll through the crate and cop some records. He'll have the opportunity for you to pay for those. But came out for the first time for the November edition of No Request, and I wasn't just there DJing. I actually found something that I needed to add to my collection.
Britney Spears.
Yeah. This dude is stupid. But for real, man. I've been a huge Britney fan. So know that you, be on the lookout for that. It's going to be really dope to be able to partner with you that way.
Yeah.
And just continue to let people know who you are and what you're doing here out in Beaverton, which really isn't that far. So if you're in Portland and you feel like, man, I've hit all the Portland record stores, I want to check out a new spot. 503 Records, man, right here in Beaverton. It's not a bad drive at all.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
And I think another thing about what you guys do and the community you build is just, it's real attracts real. So every person I met at your events has just been so welcoming, and that's the joy of this all, and the joy of creating community together. So I can't thank you enough for coming out here, man.
Come on, bro. Come on, man. Like you said,
it.
it's been we've talked about it for a minute, and it's really dope to be out here, man. So once again, thank you for the invitation. Thank you for hanging out and letting me set up a little bit of equipment, and just letting me help to tell the story to date. As you're just really starting the journey, man. I'm really excited to see where it goes.
I thank you so much, and it really is just the beginning. So much has happened this year, and it's hard to put into words all the good moments, but it's everything I could have hoped for and more, and I think it's just going to get better. You got to believe that when you're doing something you love. You just keep on going. You go with all the highs and the lows, but you keep going. And I'm so happy and proud of what we've done here, and didn't do it alone. Got a great family support me in this dream. Got a lot of friends who roll through and support. So and I try to hopefully return that to my friends as well. Give what you get, or whatever the sayings are. That's what I try to do.
Yeah.
Real, recognize real. Give. You get what you give, and all that.
I love it, bro. I love it. So before we get out of here, man, people will see this, and we've talked about it, but let people specifically know where you're at, and then let them know how to stay linked with you the way that we all do nowadays.
Sure.
Via social media.
Well, speaking of social media, I'm most prominent on Instagram. It's a great way to get a hold of me if you want to see if something's in the store in stock or anything, or if you want to reach out about consigning your own music, or you just want to say hello and introduce yourself, come on through. But Instagram is 503 Records LLC at Instagram, and then 503 Records at Facebook, 503 Records on TikTok. So those are the social medias, and then we're out here on Hall Boulevard, real close to the Cedar Hills Boulevard. So it's 3899 Southwest Hall Boulevard, real close to the Reeser Performing Arts Center. It's actually literally out that window behind me. It's where we had the Save the LP record show a few weeks back that Klyph rode through, and Rev Shines was DJing at Hedonic. Hedonic had some cuts, man.
They was going in, yo.
But anyways, it's real easy to find. I'm embarrassed to say it is on a strip mall, but I'm on the end, so I can be nice and loud over here. But it's an old school strip mall with a lot of character. I got a great Mexican restaurant next to me. There's a sports card shop. It's just, there's a lot happening out here. It's got a lot more culture out here and a lot more arts, and 503 is excited to be and happy to be a part of that. So come on out. It's 15 minutes, y'all. Most days.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Aaron, bro, once again, man, thank you so much for sharing your story, especially the slug story, since I hadn't heard that. And thank you for what you're doing, providing a space for community gathering and for building the opportunity, as you mentioned, for artists to have their art in a brick and mortar, which I really think is dope, man. And just thank you for being a cool dude, bro.
Well, you too, man. You are cool. I'm fanboying now, right now. I mean, you're like I said, you're my second celebrity story.
There you go.
DJ Klyph is here at the house at 5:03. Are you kidding me? I gotta get you to sign something.
I will. Come on, I'll tag something. No, we ain't going that route. Man, Aaron B, 503 Records, man. Thank you so much, bro. Check out the podcast on YouTube. We'll have the video up on YouTube. It's on your favorite podcast platform. Make sure that you share and comment and like, help us grow this situation. Come out to the store, whether he's having an event or if you just want to come through and browse, make this a part of your regular stop when it comes to music, or if it just comes to community. Once again, man, thank y'all so much for rocking with us here on the Klyph Notes podcast. And then, once again, man, big ups to the homie Theory Has It for creating the official theme song for the Klyph Notes podcast. Nice. Until we have an opportunity to do this again, y'all be blessed.
Thank you.